right, and welcome back to the dumpster fire that is my podcast. I'm here to break the stigma against moms who smoke. Before I get started, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Moms Who Smoke Podcast. On Twitter, we are Moms Who Smoke, or the Moms Who Smoke, sorry. And on Facebook, we are Moms Who Smoke. And our podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And after each episode, we release a survey on SurveyMonkey where you can anonymously leave any questions or comments you have for us. So, hey guys, this week is going to be a mix of a Q&A and some stories and helpful tips for finding some you time as a mom and finding who you are. Maybe, who knows, with the tangents that I go off on, but that's my basic plan for this episode. I hope that you guys have had a good week and that you've taken some time for yourself to relax. I can't remember if I've mentioned it or not, but I have made a habit of taking weekly milk baths, and they are lovely. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you're in need of a good relax and unwind. Milk baths are definitely the way to go. So yeah, this week is going to be kind of an untraditional Q&A, I guess, or I'm going to start off with a bit of an untraditional Q&A. I've been asked by my family very frequently why the hell I choose to post myself online, why I choose to post my opinions online, why I think what I'm posting is relevant, why I think others are going to listen, and most importantly, why I started this podcast. I've had others ask why I've started the podcast or a YouTube channel and ask why I post such raw moments, so I figured I'd kind of explain. Yeah, so as I've mentioned a few times, I had a YouTube channel years back, and then last year I also started a new one. I focused on family vlogs, recipes, daily parenting, and things. I showed a lot of the raw moments, I guess, and like just what being a young parent was like, but I left out a few major things. And a few of those things that I left out of the vlogs were my cannabis use and a really raw look at my mental health, because although I was open about it, I was not as open as I could have been. And from the time I got my medical card until very recently, I've been nervous about posting publicly about smoking weed. I would always post and then delete it soon after. And up until it was legalized, honestly, I did that a lot. And same with my mental health. I'd open up about how I was really feeling and what I was going through, and then delete it soon after because of the negativity that I got or fear of negativity that I would get. And it's because of the stigma that I'm always talking about. The fear of judgment from others, the fear of someone questioning my parenting, my abilities, which honestly, thinking back, is ridiculous. I'm a firm believer and advocate for the fact that weed is medicine. I have BPD, and it helps me tremendously, more than many medications that I've tried. So why do I spend all this time and energy worrying about what others will think and say, when at the end of the day, it's making my life easier to cope through and live, and isn't impacting others at all? When I finally got on top of that thought, and don't get me wrong, I still have to fight myself some days, things changed. And not just with weed and my mental health, but in several aspects of my life. I am a person who likes to live very openly. Um, that doesn't mean that I'm posting all of my personal business everywhere. That means that when and what I choose to post is my choice, and what I choose to talk about, educate myself on, or create and present is my choice. And I think people need to be reminded of that more. Um, I am a very open book. If you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an honest answer. I don't think that you get anywhere by beating around the bush, and I think that it's more detrimental sometimes to beat around the bush than to just be open and honest about what you're going through. And I think being honest can help more than beating around the bush can. Um, so yeah, I've spent a lot of my life stifled, told what is and isn't okay to say, told what my views should be or what is right. Um, and out of fear of someone holding something against me or something being taken the wrong way, I just went along with what I was being told to do. I've gotten really, really tired of not using my voice and not speaking out about what I believe in. I am tired of feeling like people are watching me or judging me based on what I do. At the end of the day, my children are happy and healthy, my bills are paid, and I'm confident in who I am. The decisions I make and owning up to my past is something that I've done and will continue to do. And so why shouldn't I speak out about my experiences and talk about what I've gone through and how I've made it this far? Um, I started this podcast because I finally harnessed this fire that I've had for years, this fire to learn and educate, to grow and share. Um, I started this podcast because I felt like I was isolated, like no one lived life like I do. Like I thought maybe there were other people who felt the same. 3.5 months in, and it's become apparent that a lot of us feel this way and are longing for that community. Throughout making vlogs, working on projects for others, going on and off social media, I was really trying to find my place, a point where I felt comfortable and confident and even excited to share what I was learning about or going through. The idea of a podcast fell into my lap, and thus Moms Who Smoke was born. Um, I'm not trying to present a front that I'm super educated and know everything. My point is to learn and to grow, as is in every aspect of my life. It's not only given me this voice, but it's also pushed me to research and educate myself on things that I had never set aside the time for. It's also allowed me to hear about countless others' life experiences and learn from their words and their stories. It's also really cool to document my feelings and thoughts and be able to look back and see how my thought processes have evolved and how I've changed as a person. So, yeah, that's why I started the podcast in a very long answer. Who named the podcast? I think we answered this in one of our first episodes, but it was Carolyn's husband who threw the idea out and we went with it. It fits well, and I think it presents well to the audience that we wanted to focus on, or I want to focus on. And yeah, so that's why it's called Moms Who Smoke. This is more of a like personal life question that I get. But weed is legal. Why do you have to post about it and flaunt it? So, in my opinion, and in several people's opinions, the fight, at least in Canada, is no longer to legalize cannabis. Our focus should now be education and breaking the stigma. Yes, weed is legal, but I'm still going to get a dirty look if I mention my use. And a lot of people are still going to make these negative assumptions about me based on my use. And that's what we need to change. That's why I think it's important to talk about, and especially as a parent. It may be something that you don't agree with or that makes you uncomfortable seeing, but that does not mean that it's wrong or that I'm flaunting it. My intention is to share my thoughts and my opinions and be open to others. I'm more than happy to listen and respect your views, but I expect the same in return. Um, I, yeah, it's not that I'm flaunting it or I'm a stoner and I want to post every time I'm smoking a bowl, because that's not what I do. I'm trying to, I don't know, share what life is like as a parent who smokes weed. And if you don't like that, then I'm sure there's other content out there for you. So, yeah. So there's my little spiel and Q&A, which went a lot faster than I thought it was going to, honestly. Um, I know the topics I talk about are controversial to a lot of people, so I wanted to answer all of those questions in one place so I can have something to refer people to. This is, if it's not obvious, a LGBTQAI plus ally podcast, I guess. I don't know how to say that properly. I support the Black Lives Matter movement. I believe that we are all humans and we all deserve the same treatment and respect. And if you don't agree with that, then maybe this isn't the podcast for you. Or maybe you're trying to change your mind and this is the podcast for you. But that's my spiel on that. Yeah, so now I kind of want to share a few funny moments that happened this week just because they're too good not to share. I feel like this week was one of those weeks that 20 years from now I'm going to look back and be like pissing myself laughing over. Um, yeah, so my daughter, who's 4, if you don't know, found a big bag of toys that I had secretly hid behind the house. I'd taken them out because they needed to go in the garbage and they were just always on the floor. So obviously they were on their way up to the garbage. Never actually put them in the garbage. So she finds them underneath the deck this week and proceeds to spend the next 15 minutes telling me how absolutely insulted she is that I have treated her toys this way and done this to her. And so me being the annoying parent that I am, I'm like, you don't even know what insulted means. And of course, my ever intelligent 4-year-old perfectly defines the word insulted. And I'm like, all right, Brooklyn 1, Mom 0. Lost that one. That was fun. Dawson's moment this week: Ghostbusters and using the bathroom. I really thought we were past this one, but we're not. We had the same issue about a year and a half ago. Dawson, who's 6, if you don't know, loves Ghostbusters. Like, that is hands down his favorite movie and favorite song. But for some reason, sometimes he just gets extra spooked. Like, extra spooked. And so the other night, we watched the female Ghostbusters. And since that night, he will not go to the bathroom alone. I'm talking full on meltdown, scared of the drains, can't leave him alone to pee. Obviously, we're working through this and talking about it, and I'm giving him the tools to work through it. I don't think I should have to say that. Um, but do you know how many times a kid goes pee a day? Kids pee a lot, and I feel like bathroom security. Like, I'm just there to check everybody's ticket as they're going in to take a shit. Um, but it's safe to say that we will not be watching Ghostbusters for a while. Just sometimes things spook you extra. I'm the same way, and I feel for him. I was afraid of drains as a kid. I always thought that all the hair that went down the drains was going to come back up in like a killer sweater or something. It was really bad. Um, yeah, that's that on childhood trauma. And then finally, my oh shit moment for the week. So I was out for a smoke last night, minding my own damn business, and then all of a sudden I see a raccoon under the neighbor's deck. So naturally I yell like a banshee because fear, and the raccoon runs away. So, like an idiot, I stay outside and try to finish my smoke because I'm now even more stressed and really want to smoke. And the fucker comes back. Not only that, but he comes at me. So, again, like the scaredy cat I am, the tea goes flying, the bong almost gets broken, the tea lands all over my headphones and my phone and my bong and the floor, and I almost shut myself in the door. And then I get all situated just to look up and see this little fucker staring at me through the door. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to pop up a picture here. It was terrifying. And I didn't clean up the tea last night because I was so spooked and tired. And this morning there was ants because of it. So that was cool. Uh, um, my cat's squeaking. Yeah, so that was my oh shit moment of the week. I lived in Vancouver and there was tons of raccoons everywhere, but I never actually saw them. And this is the second time I've seen a raccoon here now, and I'm scared. And I don't know if I want to go out for a smoke at night anymore because I'm afraid I'm gonna get like jumped by a raccoon. It's not about that. So yeah, that was my moment. And yeah, like I said, I feel like it's one of those weeks that I'm just gonna look back on in like 20 years and be like, man, that was a shit show. That was just single parenting chaos at its finest. And I don't know, it's funny. It's been a week where I think I've started to appreciate the little moments a lot more. Um, this is a time that I wouldn't normally have the kids. Normally they're with their dad for the summer, so I'm trying to take advantage of it as much as I can, um, and do more things with them and really thoroughly enjoy that time with them consciously. And that being said, I've also been making a lot more intentional time for myself. And I've been conscious of the amount of time that I've spent on my phone and distracted by things. It's really made me realize that I don't really sit down or relax unless I'm sleeping, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's really vital to my day for me to force myself to kind of check out of my own head. And I stop several times throughout the day to pull myself out of my own thoughts just to make sure that I'm not in like a chaos mindset, or to make sure that what I'm doing is actually what I need or want to be doing. Um, I think we get so wrapped up in our thoughts and the million and one things that we need to get done that we end up forgetting to check in on ourselves and make sure that we're good. And I think everyone's guilty of it, and sometimes we all just need a little bit of a reminder. As I said at the beginning of the podcast, I've been loving milk baths. Oh my gosh, I don't have words to tell you how much I love milk baths. I'm going to share with you how I set mine up, my recipe, if you will. It's really simple, and once you have the ingredients, it's really easy to do. Um, so I take 2 cups of milk and a small handful of rose petals, like just in my palm, not like a big honking handful. And I sprinkle that in the water. Like, I pour the milk in the water, sprinkle the rose petals in the water. I take a little sprinkle of lavender buds, and again, not very much, just a little in your hand. and some pink rock salt and some essential oils, usually lavender, frankincense, or ylang ylang, just because those are my favorites. But I also surround the tub with certain crystals that I pick out depending on my intention. I like candles to add to the mood, and sometimes I have a bowl or a glass of wine during my bath. It sounds really extravagant, but I'm a firm believer in dating yourself and putting that time, love, and romance into your own soul. And I'm also a big believer in intention. You can set an intention in just about anything, and if not anything that you do. And even when smoking a joint or a bowl, it's as simple as directing that energy and feelings into the bowl as you're packing it and being aware of that intention as you're smoking it. It can be as simple as little things such as I'm going to fold the laundry, or more in depth with your feelings, thoughts, and actions. As long as you believe in the intention that you are setting and following through with the action with that energy, I believe that it can make a world of a difference. Um, yeah, I just think it's important. And I think we really need to learn to we need to learn to date ourselves and treat ourselves as the number one in our lives, because the more you do that, the more you love yourself, and the more that you love yourself, the more love that you have to spread to other people. And we need to be conscious of that. We need to love on ourselves so we can love on each other. That sounds really bad. All right, I'm just going to swing from that topic now into the weekly check-in. Um, this one's kind of been a trying one, but it's also been filled with positivity and good news. I have a full week of activities and appointments coming up, and I'm feeling really optimistic about it all together. Um, there's some exciting things coming up, and not only on the podcast, but some really exciting things in my personal life that have been in the works for so long. And I'm finally so excited to be reaching this point. So I can't wait to share that with you guys in the next few weeks. Um, yeah, I'm super stoked. If you're still here listening, thank you. I really appreciate that any one person would take the time to listen to my thoughts and what I have to say. And I really appreciate that you're here listening and that you're here to support. And I hope you know that I'm here to support you as well. And yeah, so that's all I have for this week. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. I hope that you have a lovely week, and I will see you in our next episode. Bye, guys.